I freaking love these 3 books, and you've got to read them. Invent and Wonder. This is a story that Walter Isaacson told about Jeff Bezos. Came out a couple years ago. Fantastic book. As we all know, Bezos is one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time. The guy's just absolutely fantastic. But it's interesting to hear his story all the way from how he started out. He had a perfectly stable, great job. The internet was just getting started, and he had this vision to start Amazon. We know that. But the way that he operated and the way that he got there is really interesting. He had a lot of foresight for long-term thinking. And if you really think about where Amazon is today, he talked about how when he was building the business early on, he was always playing the long game. And the other key point that Amazon has done a fantastic job of, I think overall, is they are obsessed with the customer. And Jeff just always led the company, always laid out strategies that allowed everyone to be obsessed with the customer and to have a long-term plan. So great read. Don't have to sell Bezos. He's just fantastic. He was just on Lex Friedman's podcast. It's a couple hours. It's a great interview. One of the concepts that I learned from the book that I love the most is Jeff Bezos has a terminology called day one thinking. And the concept is that every day should feel like your first day of being a startup. You should always be innovative. As a matter of fact, one of the terms that he talked about is be eager to innovate always. And I think that's a great mindset because most companies, when they have what he calls day two thinking, it's problematic. They're not still thinking about this young, energetic startup that they want to be so they can serve their customers the best. So day one thinking was a great concept, something that I've been thinking about in my own businesses since reading the book. I think you'll enjoy it. Let me tell you what I love the most about Know What Matters. This book right here that Ron wrote, it is all about heart. He built this business with over $5 billion in revenue, 2,400 locations, and he did it with heart and passion and empathy. He was a raving fan of his customers. He wanted to give them great experiences. He talked about how he did it. He talked about how he recruited some of the best employees to help him build this business over the last couple decades. It is a great read. It's got a ton of practical information and knowledge in it. What I loved about it the most is that he leads with his heart and he talks about his heart. And let me tell you, if you're in business today and you know how to operate with compassion and empathy and love and lead with your heart and also deliver extraordinary outcomes, you are in a class of one. There are several great stories in this book. Ron was very vulnerable. He talked about partners, he talked about shareholders, but the constant theme that he talked about is know what matters, to tell the truth, and to get the job done. In our last months on this earth, we will give ourselves the ultimate performance review. We will ask ourselves some variations of the inevitable questions. Did I live the life I wanted to live? Did I fulfill my potential? And did I live a life I respect? Those are 3 amazing questions. If you really think about those 3 questions, it really should shape how you live your life. So, I think it's pretty impactful. The way that he served his employees and the way that he served his customers and the way that he built Panera and the business overall and the way he operates today as the chairman of Cava is one where he still embodies these same things. And he's not just thinking about what matters tomorrow, but he thinks about when life is ending and it's over, he's really going to look and reflect on how he lived his life and how he operated a business. And that resonates so much with me, of being a steward of businesses and leading people. Sometimes we get caught up in what's going on tomorrow, what's going on this quarter, what's going on this year. But if you really think about it, we all want to live a great life. And we want to be in those final days around people we love and full of joy. How sad would it be to reflect on your life and your life is something that you were disappointed and embarrassed by and you couldn't be respectful of? And I just love that. I think there's a lot of lessons there that leaders can take from it. So fantastic book. I know it was written with a ton of heart. I sent Ron a note. He just got done with his book tour and I sent him a note. I told him, this book just impacted me. I loved it. I loved how vulnerable and honest he was with it. And I'm looking forward to getting together with Ron and talk a little bit more about his story, his journey, what's next. And I just can't recommend the book enough. So Know What Matters by Ron Shaich. Great read. I just finished Shane Parrish's new book, Clear Thinking. Who doesn't want to think more clear? So fantastic book. Shane has had a great blog for many years that I've enjoyed called Farnham Street. My favorite part of this book is Shane talked a lot about how positioning is really important individually. As an individual, if you position yourself well, you're going to be in a great place to outthink people even smarter than you. And I think about how that translates into being an entrepreneur and being in business. If you can position your product, as you can position position your company the right way, position your team the right way, you can beat your competition, and you don't always have to have a better products. I think about how that translates into business, and I think about how we position our products in the marketplace, and really how I encourage my team to see that we position our products. We position our products in most cases and our services not in what the product is, but the problem that it solves with our customer, right? So we want to understand what their challenge is, what their opportunity is, and we have a solution for that. And I've just seen how positioning has been so strategic and so critical in the overall success of what we've delivered in the different companies that I have the opportunity to steward. So as I think about that individually and how you can position yourself and be a more clear thinker and outsmart people even smarter than you, isn't that always fun? It's a great read. So I enjoyed it. I recommend it. Shane's a really, really bright mind, and I think you'll have fun with it. I am not recommending these books to you because they are just fun reads. I'm recommending these books because they have tactical, practical information that you're able to deploy in your own business right away. There are two fundamental reasons that I love to dive into books. The first is it is way more fun to learn from other people's mistakes than to make them myself. But more importantly, I love watching people deconstruct success and lay out the architecture and the blueprint, the guide, the map to what it takes to go deploy success and build great enterprise value, build amazing teams in business today. So if I'm encouraging you to read a book, it's because it has been impactful for me, and I think it's absolutely a cheat sheet and a secret weapon for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please watch this next one. I think you're going to love it.